This secret is hidden in plain sight by billionaires so that they can absorb wealth from the masses without anyone noticing. It's in New York, it's in Times Square, it's used by Donald Trump, and it's woven into the fabric of our society, clearly creating wealth zones that are filled with this one prosperity stone. When you're in these richer areas, you naturally make money. Step out, and you're dead broke almost instantly, drowning in debt, crime rates rise, and it feels like life starts to spiral out of control. There's a hidden architectural design to keep the rich richer and the poor poorer. This is why the Prosperity Stone is a closely guarded secret amongst billionaires like Donald Trump. But today, you'll discover this Prosperity Stone secret, how it emits special biowaves, and why the Trump Towers are filled with these prosperity stones, allowing him to make billions of dollars on every investment that he's made. You'll even find out why the Pope is even involved with this Eastern Prosperity Stone secret too on the 2nd of February. Just take a look. This Prosperity Stone is the secret of emperors and billionaires all around the world. In fact, Chinese billionaires have spent over $156 million just to keep and preserve this secret. It's been such a tightly controlled secret that even those who dared to speak up were killed, and buildings that contained this secret stone were burned to the ground because governments were afraid of how powerful it was, even though it's what billionaires from both the East and West have been using to create millions of dollars flowing into their bank account. This BioWave Prosperity Stone has nothing to do with the law of attraction, having a positive attitude, or even doing affirmations. Billionaires don't have time for this. Instead, they suck in this immensely powerful life force that the BioWave Prosperity Stone gives, and they use it to create empires of endless wealth. The biowaves emitted from these stones are so powerful that it gives billionaires the power to survive on just 4 hours of sleep for months on end, or give normal people like you and I to attract massive financial windfalls. Soon, you'll discover how this secret has been used by billionaires like Donald Trump, ancient emperors, and secret Chinese real estate billionaires to manifest wealth with basically no effort. It's almost as if every thought and intention they have turns into reality almost instantly. What's crazier is that this BioWave Prosperity Stone has been used in the world's most sacred sites. It's what the Egyptians used to build the pyramids. It's what the monks used to create their monasteries. It's what the world's most holy and spiritually charged cathedrals and churches are made of. And today, you'll discover how I stumbled into a destroyed artifact in the side of the mountain and came across the holy grail that the elites have been keeping all to themselves. Some people even call this BioWave Prosperity Stone the 8th wonder of the world, and how anyone who taps on the power of this BioWave Prosperity Stone has the power to manifest unlimited abundance with zero effort. So if you'd like to discover how you can use these biowaves to create unlimited abundance like the billionaires, keep watching, because you'll discover how my journey to be a better father and son led me to discover Donald Trump's secret spiritual advisor, and how I'd become insanely rich in the process. More money than you could spend in a lifetime kind of rich. First, let me introduce myself. Hi. My name is James Broadwell. I'm just your average guy, and I'm not perfect to say the least. I'd lost most of my savings, fighting through a nasty divorce, but by the grace of God, I was able to keep custody of my daughter. The bills piled up faster than I could keep up, and my life came crashing down in the short span of a few weeks, starting when my mom had gotten into a tragic accident. The paramedics called me. I had less than an hour to see her. By the time I reached, she'd passed. My dad was there too. He was devastated. Tears were streaming down his face, telling himself that he could have done something to stop it. Fast forward a couple of days, and the next blow came. My dad fell into a deep depression. He'd lost his job as an accountant, and in a streak of bad luck, he'd caused the company to lose $100,000. He barely ate a meal a day and wandered around the house like an aimless corpse, watching the television. This was when he told me he was struggling with cancer, over 6 figures in debt, and he thought he would be able to work it off. But with my mother's passing, and him being completely out of work, it was on me to pay for his medical bills and for the home mortgage too. And the final blow came when my daughter knocked at my bedroom door asking me, "Daddy, what are we going to do for my birthday? I want a pink bicycle." To me, I was the only person that could actually be there for my daughter. My wife had left. My dad was a mess. My mom was gone. Yet I couldn't even pay the home bills, his medical bills, or afford something nice for her on her special day. I lied through my teeth and said I would get it. My baby girl didn't have to know about how I was struggling. Inside, it felt like my world was crashing down. I was about to max out all my credit cards, paying for his medical treatment, and the mortgage bills too, trying to hold down what seemed like a sinking ship. I tried everything: stocks, crypto, investments, all sorts of get-rich-quick schemes, and I'd settled for a career as a real estate agent, even though I was barely able to close a sale in the last 3 months. But there was hope. I was about to sell a small home 5 blocks down to a lawyer named Mr. Daniels, and just as I was about to pick up the phone to check for his messages, my dad had shouted from the hallway, saying, "James, your wife left you, and now you can't take care of your daughter?" My dad didn't do much but sit on the couch all day and flip through the television. The least he could do was give me less of a hard time. But I put my head down and kept on going. I eagerly awaited Mr. Daniels' call, and I called at 9 a.m. sharp in the morning. That's when he said to call back. I stood there, waiting for him to pick up, and those seconds felt like hours. His assistant picked up. "Sorry, Mr. Daniels is busy at the moment. He's out of town for a meeting with an important client. He'll be back next month. You can call back then. Thank you." I felt a stabbing pain in my chest. I was all alone. I was 6 figures in debt. I had to pay for my dad's cancer bills, and I couldn't even get my daughter a birthday present at this rate. I looked at the gun in the bedside safe, with my hand on the trigger. I waved it around in a quiet desperation. I'd stage a robbery down the street, tell them to put the money in the bag, and get some cash to pay off Dad's bills for the month, and get my daughter something nice too. Even thought of putting it in my mouth. That's when my daughter knocked on the door. Quickly, I put the gun away and helped to tuck her into her bed. I walked back to my bedroom, but as I looked at myself in the mirror, I'd imagined my daughter looking at me in horror, running away and never seeing me again. And I felt like a coward, a tiny, small thief, for even daring to think of going towards a life of crime. I went to bed, and the next morning, I received a weird Facebook message from my late mom's distant friend. Denise was one of Mom's distant friends at work, and she was the personal assistant of my real estate manager, Andy. She heard about how bad it was at home, with my dad being depressed, and she could see how much I was making anyway because she was the accountant. And she told me that Andy was hiding a massive secret from me. My manager was secretly being involved with new Chinese billionaires coming into town. They had bought up massive swaths of land, spent millions of dollars moving money into the States, and while he was collecting a fat paycheck, he kept it all to himself. While I was miserable trying to get by, having dry spells, being surrounded by a streak of bad luck that followed me wherever I went, unable to sell a home, begging on the streets, trying to close just one deal, he had the luck to make 6 figures a month. And he didn't tell me anything about it either. When I'd reached her home, she told me that these 7 billionaires had been using a very powerful secret to make money. During Andy's meetings with these billionaires, they'd talk about this one stone that was placed into every home that they took over. It almost gave them massive luck, or good BioWaves, they said. The first time the billionaires had entered Andy's office, he was shocked, and he was so close to chasing them out for being out of their mind. But his face had changed when these billionaires started sharing about how even Donald Trump was using this prosperity stone secret, and how he had this spiritual master. Her name was Pun Yin. It was rumored that Donald Trump used this stone in the construction of Trump Towers. And she was on the news, on MBS, CNBC, Fox News. It was massively publicized. But what these elites kept to themselves was the special prosperity stone that they'd all been using, and how he'd brought these national treasures into his buildings to attract wealth, prosperity, and good energy. These biowaves were so powerful that a Chinese billionaire had spent over $154 million just to create a building with it. And this was when I knew that there was something fishy going on. During one of those closed-door meetings, she managed to get hold of the precise coordinates of the secret tomb in the east. It wasn't recorded on any satellite maps, as it was meant to be hidden from public eyes by the government and billionaires. That's when she handed me a set of numbers that looked like gibberish, containing the location of the hidden treasure. She told me that I could think of this tomb as the resting place of the emperors of the East. It was where the emperors who ruled had their meetings. It was where the holiest of holies rested. It's where they buried the great kings of the past. And she'd even seen leaked videos in these closed-door meetings, where monks who were seen to meditate for years were practicing occult chants to bless the space. This tomb had absorbed the prosperity energy and frequency, and billionaires regularly excavated it too. To some, it was known as the eighth wonder of the world, wiped away from the history books, because it was too powerful, and it was destroyed by the Japanese for fear of its spiritual powers, and they demolished it all in World War II. And it's kept as a secret because it's been banned by governments, as it gave the people too much power to make money. Yet the billionaires found a way to get these stones. Simply put, people who were guilty of knowing and using this BioWave secret were regularly sentenced to Chinese concentration camps, and they disappeared. That was why some billionaires that weren't as lucky as Andy's clients went missing. More than 5 billionaires in China have been wiped off the face of the earth. And as Denise explained this to me, a light bulb went off in her head. "You need to find this stone. Your family's future depends on this." A part of me thought that she was out of her mind, but I had to do it. My daughter's birthday was coming up in just 3 weeks, and I was either going to rob a store or take a leap of faith on this. I arrived in this secret location the very next day and found myself lost in the mountains, and it looked like a scene out of a James Cameron movie. The mountains were high, and I felt like I'd been transported to a whole new world. I followed her instructions, walking 12,000 steps south to the Forbidden City. I crawled through jungles, scaled the side of mountains, and climbed through a few empty caves, with no sign of another human being in sight. I was in the freezing cold with barely enough food. I didn't know if I was going to make it out alive. That's when a husky voice shouted at me, "What are you doing here?" It came from a cave that I'd completely missed because of how exhausted I was. I turned my head following the loud, booming voice, and I saw these mysterious statues carved out of the finest stones. Geodes and crystals decorating the walls in glorious sparkling and shimmering dance. Carvings of ancient scriptures and monks chanting in the distance, organized in rows facing a big ancient Chinese deity. It was a sight to be seen. "You can't be here. Leave now," the voice shouted. Chills ran down my spine. I didn't know what to do. A part of me thought I was going to be arrested. "You will be killed if they find you. Follow me." And he pulled my arms, dragging me deeper into this cave. I saw gold bars stacked upon gold bars, and I knew that I'd found the place I'd been looking for. He locked the doors to his quarters, checking to see if anyone had followed me. He saw the desperate, haggard, and broken look on my face, and he immediately knew what I was looking for. I was broke, and he had the answers. He introduced himself as Master Li. He started to explain the strange sights in the cave, and pairs of lion prosperity statues that were being carved by him. and that I would go missing if I knew about this secret. And he told me exactly how these strange prosperity stones created BioWaves, helping billionaires to suck in life force and become extremely wealthy. The more chi energy you have, or the more life force energy that you have, the more money that you can create. No chi equals broke, dead, and depressed. High chi equals wealthy, healthy, and happy. And the way that I lived in the United States was sucking out my chi. The 5G signals, the poisoned food and water, and the seed oils that they'd laced into all of our foods. It flushed the natural chi out of the body, leaving you lifeless, soulless, without any life force to manifest and attract the goals that you desire. And he told me that chi is the life force that powers the chakra system. It's the energy flow that goes into your root, sacral, heart, and throat chakra. Without this life force, you'd be as good as dead, broke, and depressed. So how do you create chi? I blurted out. It's simple, really, he said. You can either create it on your own, but that's impossible with the 5G waves and the poisoned food supply. So the only way is to get chi from an external power source. And chi is extremely easy to create. You simply need to have a positive pole and a negative pole. And in the middle of these two poles, chi is created in the center. It sounded like woo-woo mumbo-jumbo to me, so I asked him again, how do you create chi? He then said, it's like how you have to have a guy and a girl to create a child. Correct? Yes, I said. It's the same. You simply need to be in between a male and female energy, and naturally your body will absorb the biowaves that are emitted from sacred objects. He then instructed me to sit between two weird lion-looking stones, and to close my eyes and breathe. At that moment, I felt a warm wave of relief flow through my body. The tension in my neck, arms, and shoulders came melting away, and the stress I'd been carrying about my dad's bills, my daughter's birthday, seemed to pass and fall off my shoulders. Feel better? He asked. You were sitting in the biowaves that these two Prosperity Stone Lions were creating. These biowaves are healing, and they help to rejuvenate one's spirit, and it gives you the life force and power to manifest. As I said, more chi equals more money. And this chi is created by the male and female lions coming together to give you this life force. On the left is the male pole. It's the yang energy. On the right is the female pole. It's the yin energy. You can tell the difference by what was below each of their paws. The female carried a baby cub, symbolizing a nurturing, caring energy. The male carried earth in his hands, symbolizing control and the assertion of one's will. When placed together, they create a biowave energy center that allows anyone to suck in life force and manifest all the desires that they could have ever imagined. And these stones had contained the blessing of generations of monks, spiritual masters that have devoted their lives to helping others. Many of them have been millionaires in their past lives. That's why these monks do not care about the material in this one. However, he was frustrated that only the billionaires were doing enough to get these Prosperity Stone Lions. And he was the one crafting them after all. So he handed me a pair of stone lions that he'd placed on the top shelf of his desk. I asked if I could get another pair for Denise, since she found this place after all. And as he could sense my good intentions, thankfully, he gave me another pair too. I saved his contact, and as I stepped out, he gave me one final warning. He told me to be extra careful at the airport and to keep them close, or else the both of us would disappear and handed over to the secret police. I was terribly afraid of being locked up in a foreign country where I didn't have any rights. By the grace of God, I arrived home in one piece. I felt like I'd stolen a national treasure, with the sacred stones kept safely in my suitcase. That's when I went back, placed it at the front of my bedroom door, just as Master Lee had shared, and I sat in between them, hoping for a miracle. I told Denise exactly what to do, since she gave me the coordinates and she was extremely curious to try. And eagerly, we both waited for a miracle to happen. I felt a little better that night, and Denise said she was doing all right too. But nothing really happened. I woke up the next morning feeling like I'd wasted all my time, only to be duped by a silly rumor that my boss had heard from rich billionaires. My debts were still there. I still couldn't afford to pay for my daughter's birthday gift. My dad's cancer bills were still piling up. And that's when I realized what was wrong. How could I have forgotten? I looked at the 2 Prosperity Stone Lions at my bedroom door and saw that I'd placed them the wrong way. I remembered Mr. Lee's instructions, telling me how the male, with the little globe under its paw, should be on the right, and the female, with the baby cub under her paw, should be on the left. I quickly switched the position of my Prosperity Stone Lions and sent Denise a quick text, and she said that she'd messed up the positions too. And after making that one tiny switch, what happened the next day completely shocked me. I woke up with close to 20 missed calls on my phone. It was Mr. Daniels. He was ready to buy. I rushed over that day, got the papers signed, and collected a fat paycheck of $8,231 the very next day. And what followed was a miracle for both Denise and I. A recent update to my late mom's insurance policy led to my family getting paid out over $670,000 in cash benefits, even though it wasn't what she'd signed up for. And Denise had a $20,000 gift from her boss for practically doing nothing at all. And on top of that, some of the investments that I'd made years ago, which I'd completely forgotten about, had suddenly turned into a profit. What I thought was a $10,000 loss years ago had turned into another $300,000 gain, with a broker calling me to tell me to sell some of my investments as quickly as possible to cash out all that money. And that wasn't the end of it. I won another $84,000 from a lottery ticket too, that was dated for my parents' wedding anniversary. It was something that my dad bought for me while he was out of work. And within just weeks, I was financially free. I was finally able to afford my dad's cancer bills, and safe to say, he's recovering a lot better now. Next, I bought my daughter that bike she'd wanted on her birthday and brought her to the best restaurant in town. This was a place that I used to go back when I was with my ex-wife, and my daughter loved it. Though that marriage had passed, it was a bittersweet moment because Mom wasn't home. I did my best, and I felt like the best dad in the world. I was a superhero in my daughter's eyes. Now, with $960,000 in my bank account, I semi-retired to take care of my dad. And he got better too. This time, I could actually provide for the people that I'd cared about, and I had time to care for them. After using the Prosperity Stone Lions, my life had changed for the better. I felt like I was living the dream life. This was what it was like to feel like a millionaire when money's no longer an issue. Not only that, during the school holidays, I'd bring both my daughter and dad across the world, bought them the best food that they could enjoy, and I was able to spoil the 2 people that mattered most to me in my life. During this time, after just a few short years, Denise had become a millionaire too, and she'd retired years earlier than she'd planned. Now she's taking trips around the world. This was thanks to a few miracles that happened in her life. A good crypto investment here, an inheritance from a long-lost relative, and a real estate deal that made her a few $100,000. She did do a little bit of work though for the last one. And as a result, she was manifesting $30,000 every month, without even lifting a finger. I felt like I'd achieved everything I wanted. This national treasure had made me filthy rich. Money was never a concern for me. I'd taken out my card to even buy sports cars, and I'd collected a few rare Porsches in my backyard. I'd taken care of the people that I wanted, but I felt a calling to share this with the world. There was more to life than this, so I contacted Master Lee, asking him if I could bring more BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions back. He told me that it would be very dangerous to do so. He warned me. He told me to stop, enjoy the life that I'd built for myself, be there for my daughter, for my dad. He urged me to remember the times where I couldn't put food on the table, the times I was dead broke, clawing out of the hellhole which was my mother's death and my dad's depression and cancer. Remember how far I'd come and enjoy life. It wasn't worth bringing more of these Prosperity Stone Lions out, and if I tried something like this, I'd probably disappear too. Though it was selfish for my dad and daughter, I had to do it. I knew that there was someone out there that's probably going through the same struggles as me. At least this time, if I really disappeared, my daughter would be proud, knowing that I did the right thing. With the connections that I had after amassing millions of dollars to my name, I spent close to over $300,000 paying off the right people to bring these Prosperity Stone Lions out into the States and across the world. It wasn't fair that the rich were the only ones who could use this secret, while everyday people like you and I didn't have access to this precious stone that the elites had been hoarding for themselves. And as I started spending more money to bring this national treasure to the world, out from this rural cave, Master Lee gave me a very stern warning. He told me that I would be on watch lists, and that if I really chose to walk down this path, I wouldn't be able to get out of my home safely. He caught on and gave me one final warning, knowing that I'd made up my mind. He told me that in 1996, there was a group of stonemasons who were beaten, arrested, and killed by the Secret Service for trying to get this Billionaires' BioWave secret out to the world. And temples of mass worship, like Porcelain Tower in Nanjing, which were secretly spreading these stories to their followers, were burned down because of it. This could land me in a foreign prison, and I'd never be able to see my daughter and dad again. But I had to do it. There was no choice. That's why the $300,000 went into creating a secret shipping route that brought these Prosperity Stone Lions for people like you today. And while I can't tell you exactly what I did to get it out, know that this page can go down at any moment. And this is the only opportunity you'll be able to get these Prosperity Stone Lions. And after all this work, I knew that I could sell these BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions privately for $10,000 if I wanted to make more money. In fact, I'd probably sell it to more millionaires who wanted to become billionaires, or sell it at the art museums where it could possibly be auctioned off for millions of dollars, simply because of how hard it was to bring these out, how hard it was to source this product, how hard it was to convince Master Lee to help me to craft enough Prosperity Stone Lions for you today. I knew I could have made a fortune off of this, but it wasn't about the money for me. It was about my mission to give it to everyday people like you who needed it most. As you know, I'm not some spiritual guru selling you an expensive $5,000 course. I'm just an ordinary guy, struggling to get by life, did well for himself, and now wants to share this with the world because he knows that it's the right thing. That's why I'm thrilled today to introduce you to the BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions. It's the only BioWave generating Prosperity Stone Lions made with the same stones that billionaires use. And it unlocks your ability to create life force within your body, raising your vibrations, allowing you to suck in positive chi energy into your body with BioWaves, creating unlimited abundance within the blink of an eye. And there's nothing like this on the market, because nothing will help you to generate chi or life force like the BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions. While everyone out there is fighting for their next paycheck, working harder with every passing day, you simply generate endless prosperity, chi, and life force with the BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions. You simply place the female on the left of your bedroom door and the male lion on the right of your bedroom door. And once you place these at the entrance of your bedroom door, you'll be able to draw in wealth generating, abundance manifesting, prosperity-creating life force effortlessly, even when you're asleep, allowing you to use the BioWaves, just like Donald Trump and the Chinese billionaires that my boss had been getting involved with. Now just think about all the ways that people try to get rich. They try to win the lottery. Good luck when you don't have any life force inside you. Creating a brand new invention that makes millions. You'll have to fail 999 times before you'll even have a tiny breakthrough. Making investments into trendy vehicles like crypto, the stock market, or even real estate without the life force with you. Good luck. You're bound to fail with any investments. If you're vibrating at a frequency lower than the life-generating one created by the BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions. Or saving every last dollar miserably, living hand-to-mouth to see your savings empty even though you're trying too hard to hold on to every penny. I'd hate for you to go through any of this, which is why I'm so excited to share the BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions with you today. Because the billionaires have been keeping this a secret from you for too long. It's time for you to have the same powers that they have, the same Prosperity Stone Lions that they've been hoarding all to themselves. And I know it's basically impossible for you to escape the rat race, feel like you're living hand-to-mouth, paycheck to paycheck, when there's something always keeping you one bill away from bankruptcy, one accident from going into debt, one misfortune from taking food away from your family. It's not your fault. The people above have engineered your life in such a way where you were never designed to know or to get your hands on these BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions. It's why they try to keep their national treasures all to themselves. But now that you have the chance to get the BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions, you can join the thousands of other people who used the BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions to completely transform their lives. Carrie D. from Minnesota said, "Thank you for these BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions. I've placed them at my bedroom door, and sometimes I sit between them to get extra BioWave energy. It feels amazing. The day after I went to get a lottery ticket, I managed to win $7,000. It's really helped me to get really lucky. And I'm also getting a promotion at my job. Appreciate you for bringing this to me." Jackie E. from California said, "You've got no idea how lucky I've gotten after having these Prosperity Lions. I've manifested $10,000 my first week, and it was amazing. I went into a small business venture that took just $500, and I sold out almost instantly. Thank you." Marcus T. from Toronto said, "I'm finally debt-free thanks to you. I've paid off my house, I've retired my wife, and I'm financially free for the rest of my life. After using these BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions, I'd received a massive inheritance from a long-lost uncle that I met only when I was 5. I'm 36 this year, and that one windfall of cash allowed me to make more money than I could have ever imagined. Thank you for the BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions." So now you're probably thinking, amazing, these are national treasures. But how do I get my hands on these Prosperity Stone Lions? Today you're one of the few lucky ones that have managed to stumble into this secret. As I've said, I'm not doing this for the money. I could easily sell this to the millionaires for $10,000 apiece. In fact, some of these stone lions even retail at $56,000 because they've been energized with these monks' prayers. And the billionaires have done everything that they could to corner the market. And even after all this work, I've only managed to move 76 pairs out of the East. And I've even had several of my team members detained and interrogated for this. And I'm not sure how long I can keep this up. But if you're still here, I want these 76 pairs to impact as many people as possible. While I'd love for you to buy 6 of them from me at a time, and enjoy 6 times the energy of BioWaves to yourself, I can only offer you 1 pair of these Prosperity Stone Lions. Each pair comes with 2 lions. As I've said, 1 male and 1 female. Again, just to make myself clear, all you need to do to use the BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions to create limitless wealth for you is to place the female lion on the left and the male lion on the right of your bedroom door. and watch your bank account grow almost effortlessly as these BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions generate essential life force that makes you rich beyond your wildest dreams. Now, while I won't be selling these to you at the $10,000 price tag, but I'll need your help to cover the shipping fees, especially because I'm paying for extra security to make sure these Prosperity Stone Lions aren't stolen or broken into. These are all fees that I have to pay out of my own pocket. You'll be able to get the Prosperity Stone Lions at just $47 today. This helps to keep my small staff paid and the people involved safe. And you'll also get 3 free additional bonuses for being one of the 76 lucky owners. 1. Restful Sleep BioWaves Track. This track helps you relax your body so that you're able to absorb the biowaves generated by your Prosperity Stone Lions when you sleep. By putting your body at ease, you'll be more open to receiving wealth and abundance from the universe. And as a result, your manifestations will come even faster. 2. BioWave Luck Booster Track. This audio track helps you to tune your mind to the frequency of luck, money, and prosperity. By doing this, you'll be able to use your biowaves to create even more wealth, and you'll have unexpected opportunities come flooding into your life. 3. The Billionaires Morning Routine. Learn how the billionaires absorb as much biowaves as possible. This short, 7-minute morning routine helps them to manifest their dreams, helps them to feel refreshed, and allows them to start the day feeling on top of the world, ready to conquer any challenge. Simply get 1 pair of the Prosperity Stone Lions while stocks last, and you'll be taken to a secure checkout page, and our team will ship your pair of national treasures to you immediately. On top of that, you'll also be protected by my 90-day money-back guarantee, which means that you'll get to put the BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions to the test. Once you receive the parcel in your mail, I want you to place the female lion on the left and the male lion on the right, and I want you to feel the biowaves entering your body for the next 5 weeks in a row. When you do this, I'm certain that you'll start to see wealth and abundance come into your life. I'm not sure exactly what it'll look like, but I'm certain that you'll know when you see it. So if you'd like to use the same wealth-creating secret that even Donald Trump is using, I'd urge you to be one of the 76 lucky owners today. And if you're not completely satisfied with the quality, build, and workmanship of the product, simply send in an email and we'll refund every single penny of yours. Right now, you're at a crossroads between a life of wealth or a life of poverty. You can choose to ignore everything that I've shared with you and forget about the secret that billionaires are using to get rich. Continue to scrape by, wondering why you're feeling so unlucky, why you're tired, drained of energy, worrying where your next paycheck is coming from, endlessly feeling anxious over money, having to count every single dollar, worrying that you'll have no money left to spend. Or maybe you feel like you're barely above water. You're holding tight on the end of your rope, trying to stay afloat every single day, looking at yourself in the mirror and feeling like a failure, that nothing ever goes right for you. This will be your reality if you choose to do nothing today. But you now know it doesn't have to be this way. I believe that you're here for a reason, that we met today because you were meant to be here, and you've had enough of struggling with a life of poverty and endless bills. Then simply use the power of these Prosperity Stone Lions. Allow your body to absorb the biowaves and let abundance flow effortlessly into your life. You don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. You can live a life of luxury. You can have money pour into your life and be one of the few lucky ones that you've only dared to dream of being. And for that reason, I'd love for you to get this final shipment of the BioWave Prosperity Stone Lions. Simply click on the button below to collect your pair for just $47.